Welcome once again to the 5-minute movement. Just 5 minutes to get you moving in all sorts of ways. So let's go ahead and get started. The timer's ready, and so am I. So today I'm going to start with my feet in a parallel stance and wider than hip width, maybe shoulder width, could even be a little bit wider than my shoulders. And what I'm looking at doing, first of all, is simply turning from the pelvis. So instead of turning from the spine, which would look like the pelvis staying stable, you can see my pelvis stays remaining facing forward here, and my shoulders and collarbones are moving. Now I'm looking at moving my collarbones and my pelvis in concert. So you can see there's this movement from one side to the other, a little bit of a churning like an agitating washing machine. And for now, I'm trying to keep my head stacked over my pubic bone, and it's like I'm rotating around my axis here. As I turn my pelvis, you can see that one knee goes forward, the other knee goes back to assist in that movement. And I'm looking at maintaining a sense of length in my lower spine. So I'm not doing this. This is turning from the lower spine rather than from the pelvis. So I'm asking for a sense of length between the vertebrae in my lower spine and maintaining that length rather than getting this shearing pressure on them. Just a few more times, really focusing on turning the collarbones and the pelvis at the same time. Nice. Now I'm going to continue to encourage my lower back to be relatively quiet, to initiate from my pelvis, but now to bring a little bit more of rotation into my mid back. So this time I'm going to turn to one side and wrap my hands around. I'm looking a little bit over my shoulder and behind me. And you can see that most of the rotation is coming from the mid spine up, not from the lower spine. If it were coming from the lower spine, it would look like this. And you can see how uncomfortable that looks. So instead, I'm trying to rotate from the mid back as I look behind. And then I'm going to go to the other side. And you can see now that there's a weight shift from side to side too. So I'm turning to the left, which means more of my weight is in my left leg. I send my hands out to give myself a hug on the other side. And I'm finding that sense of length between the vertebra of the lower spine and trying to get the rotation coming from the mid and upper spine, as well as from the pelvis, the turning of the pelvis. So I'm initiating from the pelvis, and then I can begin to smooth that out. So I'm sending my hands out and then wrap, out and then wrap. Initiating from the pelvis, and then finishing by turning from the mid and upper spine as I look behind me. You can see there's a bit of an up and down movement in the body as well. So as I come to one side, my body lowers, and then there's a little bit of an up as I pass through the middle. I'm really spreading my fingers here to get a sense of my arms helping me rotate from side to side. So the arms are not passive here, and I'm letting them fully wrap. And that helps me turn my mid and upper spine in the final position. And then as I push through my right foot, in this case, to initiate the movement of the pelvis, my hands actually helped send me to the other side. So see if you can get that sense of full body collaboration of all of the joints working together to accomplish this task. So now I can involve more of the joints by letting my trailing foot pivot. So to get a sense of that, I'm going to turn to the left and complete my wrap, and then I'm going to pivot on the forefoot of my right foot. This enables me to look even further behind me to my back wall. And then I'm going to throw my arms out, initiate with my pelvis, and go in the other direction. So now I'm just going to practice this pivoting version. And you don't need to go smooth at first. So play with that sense of, okay, am I balanced all the way through? Do I have a sense of being able to maintain a feeling of control in my feet, and that my feet are helping me with the movement by pushing through the floor to initiate with the pelvis and then take me in the opposite direction. And then I can smooth it out and also begin to get more of a sense of that turning from the mid-spine as I wrap and throw, and wrap and throw, wrap, 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 wrap. So far, I've been throwing with both of my hands simultaneously. Now I'm going to see what it's like to experiment with something a little bit different. So turning and wrapping to my left. Now I'm going to see what it's like to throw one hand and then the other, like I'm giving a back slap, and then letting the other hand follow through. A back slap or a backhand if you're a tennis player. So backhand and then the other hand comes through. Backhand and the other hand comes through. Backhand and the other hand. Back and the other follows. Back and the other follows. How does that change how my body experiences this little coordination? What does it encourage differently, if anything? And I've tried that with the heels lifted, so now I'm going to see what it's like with the heels grounded. See how that's different. Still initiating with the pelvis, still turning with the mid-spine, not getting greedy now and going into the back. I know it's tempting. And that's a way that we can play with a couple of different movement qualities by making a really, really small change to invite a different kind of noticing in our body and building the brain-body connection in a variety of ways instead of just sticking with one. So we introduced two elements of looking at lifting or grounding the feet, and we also looked at whether we were wrapping all at once, so the hands moving simultaneously, or them moving in one and then the other, just to see how that's different. So I hope that you enjoyed moving with me today, and thank you for joining me for the 5-minute movement. I look forward to moving again with you soon. Take good care.